Oh.
Oh my gosh.
I guess we're doing. Hey there, everybody.
What's happening?
I guess we're doing something today. We should just sit up a little bit. I feel like.
I guess we better get into the mode, folks.
Oh man, caught us off guard.
I gotta say, it's been tough to get in the mode around here, though.
It's been a weird day today.
It's been a weird day. It's been ice cold out here in the Arctic tundra.
We're gloved up in the front office.
Yeah, it's pretty serious, and this furry wall is not really helping us.
No, we tried, but just doesn't make enough heat.
How about an audio check? Are we doing okay over here, Bess?
Do we sound good?
We got Bess over on tech support. This is Jacob. We got Oliver.
Howdy, everybody.
We got this amazing piece of artwork here from the past, and we're gonna take you guys on a tour through the shop into some uncharted territories. We got some brand new Wi-Fi after our serious situation last week, and literally 7 days later, before we took our week off and into our week off, we were toying with and fixing and upgrading our Wi-Fi system.
So the idea now is that we can go pretty much anywhere, we think.
We think we're gonna be testing it. I still don't have confirmation on the sound over here.
It looked like there was a delay, but we're back together now. So
Okay.
Okay.
And we're sounding, you can hear us.
everybody's saying they can hear us.
Well, we
No.
appreciate you guys.
It looks like video
No
lag,
technical
but we're here.
difficulties.
Beautiful. Well, it's a great day, you guys. We just had, obviously, everyone had their holiday experience in December, but we just had our Glass Academy holiday this past week. If you didn't know, we take a week of paid time off as a company because we grind so hard through the holiday season. We need to relax.
This is our big time to recharge.
And honestly, we recharged so hard, it was, and partially the cold, but it's tough getting back into the swing of things, but we're here now. We're giving you something special, and I hope you guys have had an amazing week. And let's just get this tour started.
Yeah, I'll be on camera for a little bit.
Sounds great. We're gonna do a little bit of a tour throughout the studio, but we're also gonna come back and end up here, back in these same interview chairs to do a little bit of a Q&A. So throughout this whole process, you guys, we're not gonna be able to see the comments right here. Bess is monitoring them. So if you have a question, if there's anything you wanna know more about, we're gonna come back here and sit down and answer questions until there's no more questions that we wanna answer.
So ask away.
Ask away. I wanted to start right over here and just give you guys, we're gonna give you the basics though. I mean, beautiful things in here, really cool style for my parents, but I wanted to show off these two pieces in the conference room here. This one's done by Chris. This is an example of the type of pieces he has in Ann Arbor at his pretty fancy, pretty new gallery. It's going really well. If you guys ever come into town to visit us, I highly suggest taking the half-hour drive west of here to take a look at his personal product that he designed and creates and showcases. These ones even more so important. If you guys haven't noticed, this is a reflection or the OG pieces of this tattoo. That was the second tattoo that I got, because these were, first one was my dad's goblet. He's a goblet maker, very technical. Second one is this product line. That was my mom's product line throughout a lot of college. This was a very important piece to her. She made many different styles, many different colors. These ones are actually cool because they're completely sandblasted.
And they blend right into your sweatshirt color.
Lost it. It's true.
And if we held it up against the rug wall,
They'd be
it'd
gone.
blend right into.
We did do that.
We had them all set up over here at this table, and
Didn't
we
really
totally
work.
couldn't see them, but they look so nice. They're so elegant.
Very elegant. A set of two is rare to see sitting around. She must have loved those and held on to them for a long time. If Michelle and Chris are in the comments, I hope I said everything correct over there, and hope you guys are doing great. They're not in town for this one. They're here. Great to see. Bess, give them a wave.
Hi guys, I don't have a voice. Sorry.
Bess has no voice today.
Did you hear that? This is a beautiful fig plant over here, folks, to get into the depths of this studio. Michelle is a great plant champion, and I've tried to transfer that into my own life as well. She's given me a cutting of this plant, and it's been one of the most difficult plants to keep alive in my home, but it is alive. It's not thriving, but it is alive.
It is alive.
Yeah. But this guy's just a champion. Look at that thing.
Big old
Super
leaves.
cool. And it's actually not a fig plant, it's a rubber plant. Over here, we've got another really cool piece you can notice in the background, but also we're not going to go into too much detail of this yet. This is our table for the night. There is going to be a giveaway. We do have a name to give away last week's giveaway, but we're going to have some mystery items for sale. These are representative of what may be in those mystery items, and we will give you guys a little more detail on that. It's going to be going live at 6:30. Obviously, we're not here blowing glass tonight. We're going to show you why in a second. But if you want to support, if you want to get a discounted and super nice mystery item.
We did have a question come in before you leave the room.
One question coming in from Bess before we leave the room.
Is this a safe or a vault? What is this?
Oh!
Okay, so the question is this a safe or a vault back here?
Now that sounds like our first poll of the night. Is that a
Do a
safe
poll.
or a vault?
I'll run a poll. You guys do your thing, and we'll see what people think when you come back.
We'll
We'll
tell
come
them
back
what it
around.
really is when we come back around.
Beautiful.
Okay. All right, Bess, we'll see you in a little bit.
Come on this way, let's party. There's the front area. Now, if you guys can use your smell-o-vision, you can smell this beautiful burning candle right here. And it smells amazing. And this is Amy. You guys have met her on the show briefly. She's a champion. I don't know if you've got anything to say to the people. Howdy.
Every single plant here is thriving and belongs to me, if I'm not mistaken.
Take a pass down the wall here.
Show them all off.
Something about plants and artistic mindsets go hand in hand, folks. Look at this spread, it's looking really good. I've got one that's about half the size of this beauty right here, kind of looking for a raptor clawed home, trying to pump him up a little. Well, we got our organization here, folks. Amy and I were talking about it earlier. It's pretty incredible. This is something that if you guys have questions about it, we can talk about it a little bit later when we sat down. But organizing a business, running a business right now, down the wall here, have is an incredible feat. You do an incredible job. Talking about plants and other go, but we were just reminiscing about my business about the idea that really other than glass, half the size of this right here, what we do here, we're a small business, we're a small community, and everyone can choose. We got our organization here, folks. Amy and I were talking about it earlier. It's pretty incredible. This is something that if you guys have a question about it, we can talk about it a little bit when we at this point. The organizing business get there and also pass down the wall here. People that we didn't really get any talking about plants and other go, we were just reminiscing from the business about the idea that really other than glass, think about it's been on my mind. If you guys have questions specifically about that, let us know because there's plenty of things we go through every day that we're teaching ourselves.
What are the huge hurdles when it comes down to how to run a small business conversation?
Many. Having problems hearing. Oh.
Okay.
All right.
So technical difficulty updates. We're coming on back.
Hmm.
We're gonna take a look live at what the deal is.
Does it sound better here?
We're in the shop. The
Ah.
lights make it feel a little bit warmer.
A little bit warmer. But it seriously is ice cold in here, folks. It's been about 1 degree the past 3 days in Michigan. It's happening all over the country here if you haven't noticed that yet. But it's been super cold. Luckily, we're not going to go through all the gallery just yet. We'll loop back around. Luckily, glass isn't affected by coldness. It can get ice cold. It can be put in your freezer. You can use it for drinking beverages in that sense. But if we were to have a super, I guess heat really wouldn't affect it either. All I'm saying is luckily the glass is okay on this end of the glass shop.
In the gallery, things are fine.
Things are just fine. Let's go this way. Taking it over here. Now you can tell we haven't done anything in here. We've been hurdled up in the front office, getting a lot of paperwork done, and as much as we can get done as a team of glass blowers up there as well. But now we're gonna step into the studio and we're gonna go over the furnaces and we're gonna show you a little bit what's going on. We're gonna turn that big piece of equipment off.
Everything is ice cold in here right now.
The first thing, if you guys take a look out into the shop, is there anything that looks strange right off the bat? For those of you that are new, those of you that are veteran followers, that know a glass shop, know how everything works, what could be awry in this image here? Give you a couple more seconds to put a comment out there. As you put your comments in, let's come over here because we got something else we need to do. There's going to be a social media post asking for your guys' opinion on this, but for now you can see how we Photoshop these sheep, and we've got still more prototyping to do. We want to get your opinions. Please take a look at these three, number 1, number 2, number 3, and give us your thoughts, folks. You can let us know your favorite, but even more specifically, they all have different traits. They all have different little aspects to them that we'd like you to let us know what you think about them. And we could start with number 3 here. We tried this new style of putting on the sheep fur, or what is it?
I think it's wool.
Wool.
Sheep wool.
Right. He's
Let us
also
know.
got big ears and eyes. He's a little derpy, but some people like the derp.
We like it. It's a little Wallace and Gromity.
Totally Wallace and Gromity. Number 2, no eyes. He's got a little bit of hair on top of his head. I mean, wool. Different texture here, a much finer grain, and a little puffy tail on the end. Much more round, much more simple.
That's like the super stylized look.
Ultra stylized. And here's somewhere in the middle. A larger grain,
No tail.
no tail, white ears. Look at those little feet.
Yeah, right on the bottom.
Or are they hooves?
You're making me realize that I don't know enough about animals.
We're gonna learn. Sheep in particular, we're gonna learn. We got voting boxes here for in-house once we open up later this week, Thursday through Sunday. But let us know your thoughts in the comments. Bess is taking a look at them. If you guys have questions about the sheep, we're gonna sit down for a Q&A as we come back through the front of the gallery. Coming back over to here, you guys may be able to tell what the itchu is.
Oh, how up close and personal can we get?
If we put you guys in there, what's gonna happen? Let me hold on, is the LED on? Because we can really show these guys what's up.
Let's make sure our LED lights on.
Bam! Look at that.
And then this is an inside the furnace look.
This is some insider action, folks. Now, it's at this moment that I want to let you guys know, and we've already mentioned it a few times, we're going to be coming out with a brand new member subscription. If you guys are interested in these kind of things, the Q&As, getting interesting videos like that, bonus content, we've done it before in multiple ways. We've done it on Patreon, we've done it on YouTube. Michelle has literally been spending the last 2 months, most days, focused on building out this platform. We're coinciding it with a little transfer of our website. We're doing a lot of back-end upgrades. So as we go through this and you guys see a little something different than we normally do on Tuesdays, think about what that means to you. If you'd be interested in seeing more of that, we're gonna have an option for you to see that on a monthly basis, if not more, maybe less. We're gonna get all that figured out. We're gonna tell you about it. That should be coming up later this month, if not early February. Stay tuned. Over here now, you notice also something missing over here.
We're missing our bench.
Yeah,
Where's our bench, dude?
makes me think of a good glassblower challenge if we had to do a benchless something or other.
Do you think you could hold a squat and hold a pipe in one hand and do something?
Maybe.
I don't think I
Depends
could.
on what it is. I might bust a knee.
I think you might see me on my butt real quick.
It's cold in here. Let's hurry up. All right, check this out. This is how cold it is, folks.
All of our tools are frozen together.
Are you serious? Let's make that an Instagram reel. That's something the glass blowers can appreciate.
All of our wood tools are organized together, and that would be a real challenge, Jake, is to see, could you use those tools all hooked up together like that?
Right. Okay. Who can make the nicest marble? Oh, let me get the marble tool out.
Marble tools all the way out there.
That's ridiculous. All right, but over here, I think we could do a little mic pass off, but I'll first just base it on, let everyone know that this was down. I came home from my trip. I went to vacation. I went to Pittsburgh over this vacation break, and I came home, and yesterday morning I came by the studio. Both furnaces were at 350 degrees. That means they've been off for a while. Chris and Michelle went out of town 2 days before that. It probably went out as soon as the cold air came through this town, and I don't know why that is. Luckily, it's something to do with the blower outside. Luckily, we are looking to get these furnaces upgraded in this year. So hopefully the crack, I see a little crack in the back. It's not that bad. I can't even speak on that furnace over there. It was already cracked a little bit, and it's gonna probably have some issues after this. But I turned this one on yesterday at like 11 in the morning, went home, should have came by here in the morning before coming in at around 11 because we stay later for our stream, and I didn't come in. I walked in at 11 o'clock. We're supposed to start blowing glass at 12, and it was back down to 400 degrees. So we cranked it. I turned this thing all the way up. I went back, adjusted the amount of output on the back of the furnace. It's blasting. Ideally, I was trying to get it for streaming tonight because it's been 3 weeks since we've shown you guys some live glass blowing. We were fiending for it. We wanted to be warm, to be actually blowing glass. But ideally, I should have taken 2 days to get this up to temperature because it's going to risk really shocking the glass and cracking the pot. I just went for it and blasted it, and we're going to see what happens. In the end, it wasn't even worth it because we didn't have it up in time to do this live video tonight. So, regardless of that, you can see what's going on in here. Now, at this point, it looks hot, folks, and if you're new to the show, that does look pretty darn hot. Typically, the furnace runs to 2100 degrees. It's a quarter of the temperature of the sun. Right now, it's running a little lower. It's about 1800 or so. But even if we were able to work with that colder glass, you may or may not be able to see with the camera. Oliver's getting a great shot here. You can see the flame moving right there. That's how you know it's colder than usual. There is so many bubbles in there. When I first turned that on, you guys saw what the inside of that recycle furnace looked like. When I turned it back on, the whole thing shattered into a million pieces. There's a million bubbles in there. You pull that out, it would look like some sort of like ocean, like recycled bubble glass. And it might be cool, but it also might crack the glass and it might not make it out of the box. So to turn up all the rest of the equipment, to do a show, to not have our pieces turn out, and to risk blasting this furnace even higher, it wasn't worth it. But we do want to try a little something here. And
I think I'm going to pass off the camera to you for a little bit.
I'm going to set this up right here. An Arctic Tundra man with his gloves.
I got the gloves on. I'm running real quick.
He's going. Look at him go, folks. The reason that these benches are gone right now is because Matt, everybody knows Matt, our other assistant champion glassblower here, he is having his dad and him sandblast and powder coat our benches. Wait till you see that. What do you got there,
We
Oliver?
got a nice chunk of ice right here.
Wow.
And we're going to throw it in the furnace.
What?
We're going to try and
Right
throw
in the
it
middle.
in the furnace. Oh,
Right in the middle.
right in the middle.
The water pouring out of there. Oliver, that was nice.
That was a good toss. We had a good debate over who should have been the tosserizer for this. And I was too convincing.
Well, that's that, folks.
But that's still
cracking the pot there. We did one before this. It was pretty cool. It landed in the middle, and it just had a little bit of cold action to it. It melted down. You saw the water dribbling like that, but we wanted to show you something with glass. So there you are.
That was about the best we could come up with today with cold furnaces. Throw a little bit of ice on there, see what the deal is. We threw it on there earlier. It left a nice little crater of just solid glass in the middle of the tank. but we had an expert thrower at that point in time, and that's not what we had on dock for the live show.
Give
so
him a round of thumbs, folks.
yeah, the athlete as ever.
So should we take him through the back one time, show him the metal shop, and take it back up to the front?
I think we can do that. Do we want to show off our renovations that we're doing as well?
Sure, I'd love to.
We can do that as well.
Oh yeah, let's go.
They haven't seen that yet.
Beautiful. Many of you guys know Chris does a lot of metal work. Let's just show him since we got the...
We can just go mobile. This is the metal shop, everybody. This is Chris's dojo. We got a bunch of projects here that Chris is working on, some bigger pieces, incorporating like multimedia projects, incorporating both metal, wood, glass.
Super cool. This is going to be going in his spot in Ann Street. And we're actually planning on, when we're building out the bar here, our next steps are to be building a wall, 3-foot wall, all the way from the lounge right to here, and then we're gonna build a wall up to about Oliver's hair length. That's
Right
gonna
about
encase, right about there. It's gonna encase Chris's shop.
Just to build off some boundaries for the place, that way, for people who are new and never been here before, it's kind of more clear on where they should and should not be when we are blowing glass. You know, it's hard to corral a crowd when we're in the middle of like an amazing goblet or something.
True. We got wood.
Plenty of it for whatever project comes up. Back here is all our various storage.
Cool pieces of Chris's here.
There's always some cool pieces of Chris's that are out and about.
Beautiful.
Should we take them through the Michigan room?
Right through the Michigan room, our OG spot.
Come around this way.
Nice right there.
We'll bring them around front, show them this display, man. Look at these snowmen. These snow peoples.
So it's looking really good in here. We've got a lot still to do, but I mean, look at the way Amy set this area up. If you guys haven't been here in person, if you didn't know the plan, we're gonna be putting a beverage counter into this space. We're gonna be serving drinks. That's very on the near future now. I know we've talked about it many times. It's a long process, and that gets back to what I was talking about. A lot of people that aren't necessarily made to be doing what we're doing, but we're doing it because we love it.
It's real and it's happening.
That's right.
Take another walk through the gallery here. Everything looking crisp.
Real crisp. Now back here we had two different rooms that were, one was a bathroom, one was a storage room. What do we got now?
Kind of take a peek in there. We're down to studs in here. Lights sort of kind of work.
Really cool. Now, you see up here, look at this beautiful wood ceiling we got. Now, the lighting's not really allowing it to look perfect. So I'll step through here, you might see a little bit better. This is gonna be the men's bathroom here. We're gonna have a mirror here, a big installation of glasswork on either side of it. And that's gonna be the ladies' room.
Just demoing stuff to make room for the new refurbished construction. That was our before vacation project. But I'm getting cold, man. I think we should take her back inside.
Let's take it inside.
Let's see if we got any questions to answer.
Woo. Well, that feels better. Oh, hey, Bess. How'd we do out there?
Pretty good.
Good?
Yeah, I was holding steady. I could hear you guys. We had one question so far. I think some people were holding on to questions because we were having comments come in as you guys were talking.
Okay.
Well, I think now's the time for questions.
Yes.
Do we want to talk about the table real quick before we get in? If people want to send us their questions, they can.
Table's a great idea.
All right, I'll grab the camera.
You start looking at it. I'm gonna pop up the computer here just in case we have anything we gotta answer.
All right. I'll show off a couple of
I
these
had it
pieces
set
out
up, but then it
here.
locked.
These are mystery boxes, but we brought in some stuff to kind of show you the general area that we're talking about. Kind of bottle stoppeners. Whoa.
Stoppeners.
Bottle stoppeners.
Bottle
That's what those are called now. And then we got splagnets. We got some snails, some nice cups, some gobbly looking things, bubble trees. Then we got some fancier, flutier glasses. I really like this piece here. This is just a cool one to show off. Because it's so tall and so elegant, but then has a wonderful marble right in the middle between those two avolios. Absolutely love that piece. And then the bubble piece, brand new.
Yeah, so this is a pretty cool opportunity, folks. These are just options of what these could be in your mystery box. And so this one, I don't know if you saw this on here, this one came from the Renaissance Festival, $180 price tag on it. But if you go for number 5, I believe that's a $128 value, you're gonna get a special steal on it. And this is us in the new year, after having 3 weeks of not blown glass. We wanted to represent a little bit, give you guys an option to get something new and unique. More than just the value of it though, you're gonna get something that's not necessarily on the website. These are one and done pieces, these are things that are completely different and unique and a little bit strange or maybe just pretty cool and different from what we normally do. Example pieces, super cool stuff that you won't have the option, especially if you're from out of town, to get anywhere else. So think about that, take a look on the website, and
That's going live at 6:30.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Time traveled.
Yes.
Couple pieces as you guys are moving over there, sitting down.
Okay.
One, I ran a poll on which sheep is their favorite as you guys were out there. I was watching what was going on and trying to keep some interaction going. So as of right now, we had 44% vote for number 3.
44%.
Ooh, okay.
36% voted for number 2, and 20% voted for number 1.
Number 2 winning.
3.
Number 3
Number
is winning. Number
3.
3 is winning.
Okay.
3, 2, and then 1.
Okay.
Good to know.
So we'll keep going on that. If you see any specifics on what exactly people liked about it,
We had
let
some
us
in the
know.
comments.
Awesome.
Next, we ran the poll. Is that a safe or a vault?
Yes.
And what they
Fif-
don't know is that this is actually Jake's timeout.
Oh. 58% said a vault, 42% said a safe.
Wow.
So,
Well, I was kind of looking to you guys because I didn't know the answer, and I still don't know the answer now, but I've always called it a safe. You guys
It
think?
feels like a ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you keep more than just money in there, so I think it's a vault technically.
Well, it's pretty sturdy.
It is sturdy.
It's pretty sweet. Shall we prop it up and take a look at the comments?
I think we should. We got the laptop going with all of that goodness.
I'm gonna keep this generally here.
Beautiful.
If you guys can't hear Jake and Oliver that well, please let me know in the comments and I will move the mic closer. I'm trying to keep it in the middle right now so I can do some things with it, but if they need it, I will give it up. So please just keep us updated.
All right.
So, any questions anybody has, we can talk about anything, and we can talk a lot.
Definitely. You got the 2 people who can talk the most on the live show today.
Take it while you have it. But, I mean, the first thing I could talk about is the fact that the bar is moving along. The 2 major updates that we've got going on are the bar in the studio and the new membership. We are updating our website as well. So this is not going to be a full rehaul of the website. We're transferring the theme that's from Shopify, and so that's pretty much copy and pasting all the coding on one side and adding it to another one. And we've got a new gallery member, Heather, who's doing an amazing job as a gallery salesperson, and you may or may not have met her. She's never been on a stream before, but this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, where she is in school for computer science and she's here working part-time, getting some extra hours in, and we knew that, and we asked her if she had any idea how to do this, because we've been running through all kinds of things ourselves, Michelle, I, Amy, the rest of the team, and that was something that we looked at it and we were like, that's out of our comfort zone, I'm gonna mess something up. Luckily, she's able to do it. She takes the studio laptop home, she's been helping us out, she brings it back. So that's an update going on. We've got the Michigan room is coming together, all the blueprints and all the renderings are completed and agreed for by the city. So we're moving along with that, and we've just got to do the work now. We've got a handyman that's going to help us out. We're going to do as much of it ourselves as we can to save $1, but we also need some help from people as well to get that going. Question?
Yeah, so we had a question come in about the coming new membership. It says, will current VIPs be grandfathered in, or how will that work?
Absolutely, we're going to have a transfer process for current VIPs, and that's part, we want to keep you guys all moving along, and that's part of the reason we're doing this on a different platform, is we had a really hard time being able to communicate with the current VIPs on YouTube, and we're going to be able to, with this new platform, send out bonuses, track how long you've been a part of the system. We really want to get into and originally the plan for this show was, which transferred around a little bit, was we wanted to design a cute little collectible item from the Glass Academy. And if anyone has ideas of what that could be, let us know in the chat. But something that will change the colors of, it'll be a trinket, something small, something you want to hold on to, something you can store properly in your home, but the grandfathered VIPs will be at whatever certain month they're at, but every certain extra month you'll get another one of these and you'll build your collection, and they may or may not be able to be redeemed for certain other perks, for custom orders, whatever it may be, over time based on which tier you're at. But that's the idea, and it's all still in the works, and current VIPs will be hooked up.
Absolutely. I got a question, and I don't think you know the answer to it, Jake.
Sweet.
We got a question from Victoria on the Facebook side of things, wondering how much does this wall cost?
I don't know the answer to that.
You want to just guess?
I can't even guess.
What
I
do you mean
can't.
you can't guess? Everyone can guess.
You could guess better than I could, Victoria. That wall was put in when I was, like young.
After inflation, $120,000 wall right here.
Ooh.
This is alpaca fur.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Red alpaca.
Yup.
That's rare.
You don't hear about them too often.
We did have another question.
Yeah.
It says, are charcuterie boards going to be an option at the bar? I know Michelle loves the farmer's market.
Oh my goodness. We do. We still need to. I need to talk with the city and figure out what's acceptable, what the boundaries of what's acceptable for us to provide to customers. But we definitely, Michelle loves a charcuterie board. Chris loves cooking, and he loves his pizza oven. And we've already been fantasizing about having pizza nights. Specialty pizza night. You purchase a ticket. Maybe it's a happy hour. It's included with pizzas all night. We're blowing glass, Chris is making pizzas, anything like that. We got to figure that out still too when it comes to food, but there will be some kind of snacks for sure. In some states, I know in Pennsylvania, I was just talking with my friends about it, you have to have food of some sort, pretzels or something, at a place of alcoholic action.
I know that for us to provide food, open food, like a charcuterie board or things like that, we have to go through certain certifications as far as safe food handling and things like that.
Yeah.
So I know that some bars in the area choose to only do bagged foods, prepackaged. So that's something we would have to kind of discuss and look into further.
And my real estate agent did send me a prepackaged charcuterie board in the mail one time, and it was disgusting. It was not cool. I told him that. I said, hey man, as a good friend and like a business person, I want you to know that
This is
You need
not
to buy
good.
something else.
you need to not do that again, because it was a bummer. It was bad. How many of you guys out there have tried tried those like Hello Freshes, you know, the like take home like cooking food action.
Hello Fresh was pretty good. I tried it.
It's not bad, but it still is a little weird when you got like 3 little pieces of salami and you're opening up a big bag of salami and there's a little bit of moisture in there and they were cold from outside. It's like, that's just my personal opinion.
You've done like HelloFresh stuff like that before at all?
Yeah.
We did it for a little bit at my house, and I didn't like how much packing material came with each
It's a
individual
lot of
meal.
packing material. I also feel like the portions were so small.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if the portions were small or if I'm just a
Same.
large eater.
I might just
it
eat
made
a
me
lot.
question a lot about myself, so we're figuring that out still. But I enjoyed like some of the meal ideas at least, you know.
Oh yeah.
Did it for a little bit, not doing it anymore.
Grocery store.
Big time.
So, question for you guys.
Yep.
What were your highlights of not being here for a week? What'd you guys do?
That's a great question. That come from someone or come from
No,
you?
that's just from me.
That's just
nice.
from you?
Yeah.
That's an awesome.
That's a
awesome
good question, Bess.
You want to take it away, Oliver?
Yeah, I took a little vacay with my fiance Kayla. We went up north to our college town for a couple of days, seeing some of my old friends before they graduate from college. Got my sparkle back a little bit. It's kind of what I'm thinking it as. You know, batteries were real low before we left on vacay, and I am feeling recharged and ready to go. Got to meet a lot of people again and see some familiar faces and beat that winter storm home. And I've just been resting, hardcore resting.
Yeah. Same here. Resting is key right now.
Yeah,
in the wintertime. I had a pretty good time. I went to Pittsburgh. Super great. You know, it wasn't rest for me though because I just went from house to house. I stayed at 5 different houses and reconvened with 5 different groups of friends. Not groups of friends, but individual friends and other groups. And I got to stay with my old bosses that I worked with in Pittsburgh. I've mentioned many times on the show before. And we're queuing up an idea to get them over here and do a little collaboration with them. I didn't have time to make a video with them there, but we'd like to do that pretty soon.
It'd be cool to have them come out. Have they ever been out this way to
A
the
long
Glass
time
Academy?
ago. They came around here, but they never made it to the Glass Academy. It's been a long time.
That'd be
So
cool.
it'd be
for them to
really
see
cool
it.
to show them around, be working in a different studio with them.
Yeah.
It also just got me pumped up. I met a couple other glass blowers while I was there, and I got a nice list of people that we can collaborate with at this point. Going into our membership tiers and what's going to be going on. The Gathering Point will always be a beautiful spot with a 2-hour show to do some collaborations, and we'll dive a little deeper into those maybe with depending on the tier, but we're definitely going to be doing some cool stuff. And I got some people from out of town that'll come
You're just in
by.
like the Pittsburgh area, head hunting for cool artists, essentially.
Pretty much.
That's sweet.
Pretty much.
That's sweet.
It's gonna be cool. Just to get some fresh ideas in here will be really great. It's been we're hoping that this membership will be able to allow us to plan out the shows a little bit more and have a little more intention behind them. We've talked about them before, but going into the new year, that's the plan of this new year, is to simplify and intentionalize what we're doing so that you guys get the best content around, and we're proud of what we do and you guys are enjoying what you get, proud of supporting us. So
I mean, that's a good point for everybody. Like, we're always thinking here about what we can do with our programming schedule to keep it fresh, keep it funky, keep it, like, on the educational sides of things while keeping that lightheartedness that we're gunning for. But if people have ideas for things they want to see, like, we're all ears. There's no such thing as a bad idea. So we would love it if, especially our glass addicts.
we love hearing from you guys. That's why we do these giveaway questions. That's why we ask for your input. I totally forgot the giveaway piece out there. Would you want to run and grab it, Bess? Maybe it's right on the table by the clear furnace, the class table. Thank you.
Also, Oliver, with your hands in your pockets, with you talking with them, you're just flapping around.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Let me grab my gloves then. My hands are cold. They gotta be in the pockets.
We don't always ask for marketing information or for information about what you guys love and what the deal is and to learn from you, but we do love it, and this is a little bit more of it here. We need to know, do you prefer functional or decorative glass items or a mix of both? Enter to win. And if you guys, by this point, I assume you're an OG watcher and you're a champion and you know that you enter by sending it to enews@glassacademy.com. Send us an email at enews@glassacademy.com. Answer that question, and I'll just tag on there. What did you think of the Q&As, folks? Do you want to see more of this? Do you want a little more preparation? If you had the opportunity to send in some questions, think about it.
That'd be cool.
Ask specific people on the show. You know, it could be Amy, it could be Donna, it could be anyone that's not typically a part of the show either. Is that something you'd be interested in? Let us know in the email, please. We read every single one of them. Thank you, Bess. And we're really looking for more information, how to make it as best as possible for you guys. So that's the giveaway question. If you need to see it again, let me know. I'm going to leave it right here. We do have last week's giveaway right here. Now we didn't have a traditional show. I hope you guys liked that show as well. Little preview as to what's going to be coming up in the future here. But look at this no-face stylized snowman. It's completely solid glass. Super cool. We were testing out new styles of snow people. We may or may not do this one in the future. We're always thinking, always designing something new. And we're going to have a winner for that one coming up in here in 1 second, as soon as I can grab that clipboard. Thank you. And the winner of the Lil Solid Snowman, folks, Anne Marie Pino. Or it could be Pino. I don't know, let me get it lined up correct for you guys. Congratulations, Anne Marie. I love to see it. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful to win. Free glass. If you're out of town, you can get that shipped to you. If you're local, come on by. Pick it up.
It's a cool piece to make.
It's so cool, and it's ice cold. It feels like
know.
It's block
freezing.
of ice.
It's absolutely freezing.
Well, why don't I turn this around to you? I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to give an answer for our giveaway question.
Hold it down.
We did have a couple other questions come in too. If you want to scroll up, or I can read them off too when Oliver's
Would love
done.
it if you'd read them off.
So this question asking about whether you prefer functional or decorative glass pieces. I can say right now that I lean so hard towards functional pieces. I totally get why people love decorative pieces, but for those of you who maybe don't know, prior to being a glass blower, I used to be a mechanical engineer, and my brain is forever twisted for function now. It's gotta serve a purpose for me in my head. So it's like, I love our drinkware so much because that's like so much decor creativity you can get out while maintaining the functionality.
I couldn't agree more. I feel exactly the same. I do love, though, a piece that's completely, I'm loving it more and more, completely, like something that's not anything you've ever seen before. Sorry, that was so tough to get out. Something that's like on the wall, like Chris's pieces we showed off over there, something that is just an object of cool color and cool design. It's not something, I think I love it because it's not something I'm ever comfortable just making. I don't assume it'll sell, I don't assume we'll make money off of it, and I don't push myself to do that, but when it does come out, something cool like that's made, it's a pretty sweet thing.
No, I definitely your dad is like a big person in that, where I look at the stuff he's making, I'm like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I would never try that.
Yeah, exactly.
And
you gotta have
like,
the brain for it.
Yeah, like I can like see it and recognize it as like being super cool and like super high quality and just beautiful art. And then when I think about what it takes to make that, my brain just like turns to mush.
I know. We're on the same page.
Yeah, we talked about that with like making like really organic stuff and how you have to de-robotify.
Totally.
And that is so tough. That's so tough.
There's nothing easy about it. It's totally true. I want to go back to what you said about functionality though too, and one of the people that could potentially collab with is a historian that I was working with in Pittsburgh, and she would come to the studio and we would teach private lessons with her, and she would bring her own color. She knew a fair amount of glass blowing, but we'd help her through a lot too, and she would make all colonial era historical glass and go to the shows and sell them all, and we purposely bubbled the glass like we were talking about earlier, used really old, like weird recycled looking colors. And the amount of history in her brain is insane. I got to speak with her for a while a few days ago, and she was so jacked up about the idea of us making historical pieces of drinkware to make cocktails out of, or old beer glasses, and telling the story of what they were and how they got to be, that I think eventually we're gonna have to get her down here and have a show and
Yeah,
talk
that'd
some
just be
history.
so cool is to have like almost like a PBS style history of glass like that.
And the passion she has too for it, I like it. I want to learn more of it, but I don't have that kind of passion. She would sit down and let it ride.
Yeah, that's the type of person I can tell who can just like you let them loose
They're
and they'll
going.
keep on talking until you like.
We'd have to do
mic
the
on.
interview move on her.
Yeah.
Next subject. She's amazing, and I promise, and I hope that maybe this next year, if not the next one, we can get her down here and have something like that.
Super
happen.
cool. You just got me thinking about it though. Where do you draw the line on like colonialism, glass blowing? Is there just like some particular technique that you're using? Is it the state of the glass? Is it the tools? Like.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of all those, and you can just hold on to that question until she comes around.
I'll let the experts speak about it. Tune in 2026.
Yeah. It's gotta be something like that.
I want to give my answer to the giveaway question too, and then
Sweet.
I will kind of transition and give some other questions here.
Beautiful. Best speaking from behind the camera.
My voice is coming back a little bit because I've been saving it, so I'm going to use it while I have it.
I love it.
Excellent.
I tend to lean more towards functional as well. I do like having a couple focal pieces around my house. Like, you know, something cool that your friends come and hang out and they're like, oh, that's super cool. What is that? Where'd you get it? But I don't have a ton of space. My house is itty bitty teeny tiny. I like having our drinkware because I have a couple of the smaller, like the mini mugs, which to be honest, I do use them as shot glasses, but I also do love them because if I need to take medication really quick, I can literally take it with my little mini mug and it's fantastic.
Totally.
I also do have a couple other drinkware pieces that are just kind of like my favorite and they make me really happy when I use them. I do have a couple, you know, decorative things. I have a slug, I have my strawberry. Honestly though, my absolute favorite piece is my ringtello from a class. Because I use it all the time. So again, functionality definitely plays a role in that, but I think that it's because my house is so small, I don't have a lot of room to display a lot of things. So if it's something I can use in my daily life that's going to bring me joy, absolutely.
Completely. Beautiful answer right there.
Good answer, Bess.
I'll transition. I'll read a couple questions here.
Okay.
Let me scroll. One, just real quick, it's not an actual question for you guys. Julie asked if the table is open to purchase. It is. I've been monitoring it. It is live. People have been purchasing. I did just put the link to it in the comments in case you guys are having issues finding it. So
Mystery items, folks, and super sweet, one-of-a-kind items that weren't offered available previously.
Can't find them on the website.
We had somebody ask how old you were, Jake, and I don't know if you want to answer that or not, but I just I'm putting it out there.
I think the people know. I think maybe the other addicts and whatnot might know. So I guess you could just put it in the chat and we'll see what happens.
I mean, you just turned 18, right?
Well, I wasn't going to tell them.
Oh, so. Just spoiling everything.
Jeez.
Man.
Put it in the chat. We'll come back around to that one.
I'm scrolling because it's starting to hide some things from me, so give me 2 seconds.
I see one on Joey here.
Yes.
Folks, Joey's been, he's working at a couple other shops. He's doing some really cool stuff. He's teaching classes as well. He got really busy during December. I haven't seen him in a little bit, but we're looking to get him back on a show. It would be really cool. We were toying with the idea of having him come for Valentine's classes because we always get so slammed. But then again, he's got classes in another studio too. But as far as I know at this moment, he's doing really well. You got any updates on him?
I think I've seen him a little bit more recently than you. Man's super, super busy, but he's still Joey.
He's
Still
a
being
hustler
creative
and
as
grinder.
ever, still hustling, so he's doing well.
Yeah.
We had a question about the Michigan room. Jeff was asking if you've determined what kind of beers will be available.
Jeff. This Robin's husband?
It sure is.
The
Son of a gun.
Jeff, it's gonna be the kind that you like.
Bud Light.
Mm-hmm. Or something else if that's not what you like. But we're gonna get what you like.
The idea so far for the bar in my mind, and I actually just took, before I left for this class, I took a drink making class which was super cool. And it was really about the basics of drink making, and this is getting off on a separate conversation than what Jeff just asked, but in my mind, especially from the start of the bar and into the future, we're not here to have people coming to drink every single night. You know, we don't want to have every option out there for everyone under the sun. This is going to be a specialty bar scenario. It's going to be a little bit higher class, and we really want to focus on local and or just small batch, really cool, intentional, artistic, if you can put that into drinks.
I think it's called artisanal.
Artisanal.
Artisanal?
Artisanal.
Artisanal.
Sure. All of the above.
One of those.
Could be something.
We want it to be really nice like that. So when we're thinking about beer, it's going to be, I mean, I'm not a big beer guy. I don't know all the beer. I'm going to get a lot of advice from both my dad and many other people, but I know the liquors, and I got a big plan for that. But it's going to be local stuff. We're going to have a wide range, but it's not going to be a ton of options either. I hope that answered your question.
Somebody follow up and asked, when are we hoping to have the Michigan room open?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to give you a date.
Can we confidently say 2026?
Yes, we can. I would confidently say 2024. I know that's stretching it. I probably shouldn't say that because, I mean, the plan is to have it done by summertime, but that's probably, let's double the plan and call it by the end of the year, end of 2024, because we're starting demolitions now. All the tough work's been done, and to be completely honest, a lot of the work that I can't have any involvement in has been done. My dad's done all the work with the city. He's met with the architect. He's working with the contractor and completely lining everything up, and he has his own style of work, and he's doing it in his way, and he's been chipping away at it, getting things done, and a lot's gotten done. We didn't realize so much needed to be done. So as frustrating as it is for me, and I don't know about the rest of the staff, but just to keep pushing back this date, and every time we say we're gonna get this done by then, it's not done by then. We made a beautiful timeline in the hallway over there. That timeline is open-ended, and we're chipping away at it. We're doing what we can. We've done incredible things to the studio this past year, and at the end of the year, we turned out to be right at about the same thing we did last year. Profit-wise, we stayed strong, and the fact that we were able to add so much to the building. We redid the Michigan room. We hung doors. We spent 3 months not even blowing glass last year. So there's been a lot we've done on our end.
Yeah.
My dad's done a ton of work as well. Chris has. And I'd like to say by the end of the year for sure. It'd be really nice to have it. We don't want it in the dead heat of summer. Spring would be amazing. I feel like that's pushing it. We could open up and have a big grand opening and a preview party in the fall of this coming year. I would be really happy.
That'd be fantastic.
I think for me, I would prefer it to be pushed out if it's going to be done right when it is open. I think
100%.
it's just in life, I don't like rushing things when you can't pay attention to all of the details. So I think it'll come in its own time.
That's how I am too, and then I get too particular about it, and I want to have everything dialed in. And then you got Michelle, who's running the business with me here, and she is we're gonna do it right now before we've only thought about 20% of it. So we counter each other really well, and I think we're gonna meet somewhere in the middle, like you're talking about, where we're just gonna have to get it going, and we're gonna learn, and we're gonna grow as much as we can over the next our lifetimes, but we do have to get the ball rolling, and we're gonna start simple. You know, we're gonna start with a few drinks, a few beers, have an opening party, see what people like, and go from there.
Take it from there.
To piggyback off of that, sorry, I keep interrupting you, Oliver.
No, I would rather hear you talk, Bess.
I was gonna say to piggyback off of that, we've had some people say, "What if I'm not a beer drinker?"
Oh, well, that's me. That's great.
So what options
Thank you
will we
for
have?
that prop.
You're not invited.
Yeah, sorry about it. No, that is, I mean, I truly think we're going to do some cool historical beer glasses. Beer drinkers are welcome, but I think the highlight of this place is for both the people that want to drink mocktails, drink non-alcoholic drinks. There'll be beer as well, non-alcoholic beer, but the cocktails and the fun and the experience of designing a glass, designing the drink, the history of the piece, putting them all together and making a really, I mean, the experience of our hot shop is already so much. Coming in here, shopping the products we have, taking a class, experiencing live glass blowing, learning and being educated from what we find passion in and what we want to talk about. But then to go in there and sit down and get a cocktail that was super intentionally designed, that was made, I mean, there's nowhere else that makes a glass for their cocktail. I mean, you could get it ordered from China, you can get a custom one done, you can scribe on the outside of it, but to hand blow a glass and have every glass be completely unique, but know that we're gonna make 15 of one glass, because at no point during the night are 15 people gonna be drinking the same drink. And we got 15 of those glasses, we're making one-of-a-kind cocktail, and you can get it mocktail, you can get it regular. And then, if you wanna buy that glass or buy a set of them and take them home and make that cocktail, we'll hand you a recipe for it, and we'll say, go for it. This was designed by us, we're proud of it, and that's the plan. I mean, the cocktails, in my mind, are gonna be the most enjoyable thing, and it's just gonna be freaking fun and cool to
I'm
get after.
excited.
Very
It's gonna be so sweet.
The creative aspect of it's really
Oh my
intriguing.
God. Oh my God. I mean, like, and we could start at any point of it, you know, if we start at the history aspect and say, this drink was made at this time because of this, then we go off and make the glass and the drink. Start at the drink aspect and want to make a glass to highlight the notes of that, or you make a drink, you pick your favorite drink, and you make a glass that's going to accentuate that drink as much as possible.
I mean, okay, you just touched on it real quick. I'm sure someone's coming down the pipeline with this question, but I'm gonna beat them to it.
Yeah.
You got a favorite mixed drink?
Personally, I really don't like sugar. I think it messes with my skin, and I can't drink beer. And I've had my gin years, which have just ended in the past 2 months, and I'm on to tequila.
we just moonlighted the gin years.
Well, yeah, they just went right through, and they were a darn good time. I got a great gin collection at home. Thanks to props to actually multiple people from the Glass Academy Addicts. I got multiple bottles sent, and people recommended bottles to me as well. But I'm onto the tequila right now, and just to get rid of the sugar, I'm either drinking tequila sodas, or if it's a really nice tequila, I just like sipping on tequila, and it's just, I love it. And that doesn't really play into the, you know, what I was just talking about, but I do have some really cool tequila sipper glasses, so actually it does.
It does, yeah, there's something to think about, you know? I'm just
Totally.
curious to see, like, where your head's at as we talk about the bar.
It's more about everything for everyone. I mean, and
Yeah.
just exploring, and I might have a new drink, and we all might find new drinks, because we're just going to be exploring so many different avenues.
Yeah, big time. I find, like, where the history of, like, glass and then, like, the drinking aspect of it, where that Venn diagram circle meets in the middle, to be just a really interesting piece of culture.
We're going to dive so deep into it.
What's your favorite drink, since you asked him?
Yeah.
My go-to is a rum and coke,
Mm.
because I use that as my litmus test for anywhere I go to see how they make one.
Fair.
But I would have to say, like, an old-fashioned or like a whiskey sour.
Mm.
I like whiskey and scotch and stuff like that. I'm not a big vodka, gin, tequila person. I like my whiskeys and my scotches and my rums.
Makes
so.
sense. Look at those gloves and that hat. You look like you like whiskey.
Yeah, I got a whole aesthetic going on here. It's
It's good.
My go-to used to be a mojito,
Okay.
but this actually started back in June when I went out to San Diego. I have been really into any sort of a spicy tequila drink.
Mmm. I like
Spicy.
that.
Spicy. I went to a speakeasy for my sister's bachelorette party, had some sort of a spicy tequila drink. It was like a smoky, spicy tequila drink, which was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then for my birthday in November, went to a restaurant out in Ann Arbor, and they made something up for me, and that was fantastic too.
That's
So-
smoky action's good. Smoky spicy.
Yeah, it was very good. So that's like my current thing.
What's everybody else's favorite drink? Let's
They've
hear
been
it.
putting them in there. I've gotten Black Russians, margaritas.
Black Russian. What's a Black Russian?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Well, what, a white Russian?
I know a White
is-
Russian. I don't know a Black Russian.
is
Tammy,
just
if you
like-
could give us more information on that, that'd be cool.
Oh, that's an Australian drink?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Captain and Coke. I think you broke Carrie by saying that you're off of gin right now.
Oh, okay.
Another Captain and Coke. We've got Sharon Watch, always loving her tequila.
Oh, yeah, Sharon.
Roniza said tequila sunrise. Roniza actually had a question earlier that I can't see anymore, but it did pop in my head when I saw her name. She said, how do you determine who you take on as an apprentice for glass blowing?
That's a really good question. I mean, we got 2 of them here now. Joey had been here for 7 years. He had stumbled across this through a family member of ours. But Matt had just applied to be here, and he had cake making knowledge, and he came and he dressed really nice and he looked good, and he was excited and eager about it, and he was just wanted to be here, and the timing was really nice. I needed someone else to help out, and so gave him a shot, and he really took a liking to it and really got excited and started doing it on his own on the side, and it worked out perfectly well. Oliver was at the Renaissance Festival, and he saw us.
I begged and cried.
Yeah, he was like, how do I get in here? And then he left, and then he came back, and he presented a nice little envelope with his resume and said, I'm from Indiana, but I want to come work here. And that kind of dedication was clear that, he was pretty interested. And he had worked with metal before, worked a lot with metal in school, and I thought it's also working with your hands, working with the material and not being afraid of the heat or anything like that. So that was another idea to give him a shot. I was talking with a lot of glass blowers in Pittsburgh just since I was there, and every glass shop has their own way of curating their team, depending on what they're doing, based on what they're doing, how many classes they're teaching, if they're just a solo artist, if it's a nonprofit. There's a lot of glass shop nonprofits out there, but yeah, you kind of got to think about what's best for what you're doing. And I think for me and for our shop so far, it's been having people that don't know how to blow glass come in here, because we can grow up as a team together, and we can build this community around what we've all learned together, and know that this is our style of blowing glass, and travel around to see other styles and learn and grow, but we're all kind of growing together, as opposed to other shops, which I spoke about a couple different situations this past weekend, where you hire someone who's already got 5 or 10 years in the industry, and they come in and they've got their own style of blowing glass, and whether it's their communication or whether it's just their style of blowing glass or how they live their lives even. I mean, it could be anything, but it may just not mesh with what you're doing. And so I prefer to see that we all mesh, and we've got a good team of communicators that work really well together. Mm-hmm. We all know each other, we all like hanging out with each other, and the energy's really good. And then the glass, we can grow, make it all work in the end.
You can cultivate skill in glass, but it's really hard to cultivate culture. You just gotta find the right people that make up the team you want. And I've noticed that in a lot of other places where you can hire all-stars, but if they don't mesh with your culture, they're not really going to perform as all-stars anyway. So
absolutely.
That's really a tricky scenario to navigate through.
I think that's true in both the office, and the rest of the business too, is that, we've got a really good team. We love working with everyone we work with here, and we hire people, based on their ability to be in a small business and be a part of this family. Everyone does have their hands in different pots doing different things and learning all kinds of random stuff. I mean, I don't think Bess knew she'd be tech support for this stream like this, coming into here and doing social media for us like she is, but she's jumped into it. She's doing an amazing job, and none of us are perfect either. I mean, I'm learning every single freaking day something new. I'm trying something different that I've never done. Oliver's now on to doing class work. He's going to start organizing the classes and working on the schedule and doing spreadsheets for that. It's not what we hired him for, but he's willing to do it, and it's going to be part of what makes this team grow and just be better and better. So that's, I think, the basis of how we hire.
All right. To answer your Black Russian question.
Yes.
Is it coffee?
It is.
Coffee's already in the
coffee.
Black Russian. Well, I guess Kahlua.
It's vodka, Kahlua. So a White Russian is vodka, Kahlua, and milk.
Right.
A Black Russian is vodka, Kahlua, and Coke.
Whoa.
Oh.
I feel like that's an interesting mix.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
I've never tried it.
It's carbonated.
I may try it. And Pammy, it's from Pammy from
That's
Australia,
from Pammy.
right?
It's for Pammy.
Maybe, Pammy, since you're such an OG Australian hitter and you've been with us for so long and we can't really even send products to Australia, maybe we name a drink after Pammy in the future here.
Could be fun.
Maybe we do that as a specialty drink in the future, as long as it tastes good.
Yeah. That'd be the worst thing we could ever do is Pammy, name this drink after you.
It is terrible.
It's really bad. No one orders it.
We might give it a shot, Tammy. We appreciate you.
Next question. Are we getting a new shop cat?
Heck yeah, we are. We're working on it, but we've got so much going on right now. Our brains are going to explode, and we just got back, but we do want to get one now in the dead of winter time when it's -1 degrees in here. Not the time. But we are going to be getting one, and we were told not to get it before the bar opens because we could totally get in a bunch of trouble having a cat around a place of serving drinks. But we're probably going to do it anyway.
Just have to keep it on the down low.
Yeah, now that this is on the internet, whatever.
It's great.
It was about cats. It had nothing to do with parrots. We're allowed to have a parrot.
That's what we meant to say.
Yeah.
Parrot?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I've been trying to sell Jake on other animals aside from a cat. I'm totally down for a cat, don't get me wrong. I love cats.
We could get like a
but,
mini pony.
Could get a mini pig.
Did you guys know that
Horse.
miniature horses are allowed to be a service animal?
No.
Now you know.
Get them on the show.
Perfect. Next question. Is it still available to sponsor a chair for the Michigan Room?
Yes, thank you for asking that. It's totally still available, but it's just not on the website. It's something that's kind of fell onto the back burner for us, but I very much do believe we're going to have another as we get much closer. I mean, we've spent at this point, without really doing any of the construction, we've spent what we've had saved to do this project. So the Evolution event was a great turnout here. People didn't understand it was a crowdfunding event, so it was pretty much we broke even. If anything, we didn't make money on it. We just had a really good event, had a bunch of people in the shop, and had a good time, which is never a bad thing. But we are going to need to, get some more funds going for this project, and that's a great way to support what we got going on. We've got chairs that we designed, we painted. Sharon Watch came and volunteered. Matt painted them. Sharon Watch put the beautiful pads on them. Those will be for sale again, but I gotta think that it's gonna be closer to when we're opening up. We're probably gonna take out a loan to finish the project, and then as we're getting down to the final dates, we've got something to show and something to represent. We'll have more people in the shop, probably put them up on the show again, and look for you guys to support a little bit more at that moment.
Will we still get our name on a chair if we sponsor it?
Absolutely, and I've got Bess she's got a laser engraver at home, and she's going to be engraving all those tags. So I bought an extra 100 of those brass tags, and I've got a whole list of everyone's names. I didn't forget about it. Everyone who donated on the day of the Evolution event or purchased something, everyone who bought a chair is on that list, and VIPs up until this moment. If you've been a VIP, I think it was for 3 months I did it. You're gonna get your name on a plaque as well. This will be part of the new program. If I can work it in there to talk with Michelle, same thing. We'd like to have those names everywhere, donation spots all along the inside of the bar. So that's just been sitting on my desk for the past 2 months. It's not a messy desk, it's organized, and I got it lined up right there with Bess's name on it, and when the time's right, I'm gonna send them to her. She's gonna engrave them, and we're gonna get them up.
Another question.
Yeah.
When is the next big event for out-of-towners?
Is
That's a great question.
Is that the Easter event?
Yes, it's our spring show.
The spring show. And this is going to be, like I mentioned, it's going to be super cool. Thank you for bringing this up, whoever that was. Who was that?
Oliver's mom.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Shout out to moms.
This is going to be the opportunity for the opening of our yearly creature creation reveal. And we're starting with the sheep. Mm-hmm. So we're going to keep designing that as we design other things. We got drinkware designed for the bar. We got Renaissance product to start pumping out, even pumpkins at this moment. But
we got signature eggs too.
Signature eggs to do. We've got a lot of products to come up with, but each year we're going to design a creature. It could be a real creature. It could be something totally random, but it's going to be cute. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be crazy, and they'll be collectible. We're going to sign them probably, and we're going to do a big show, a release, both virtually and in-house for those sheep. And the spring show will be an in-house and virtual event that we're going to pump out of the water.
Cool.
Super cool.
Not a question. I am waiting for you guys to send me more questions. I'm running out of them. But something that I just noticed that I thought I'd bring up to you guys. Did you know what number show this is today?
250.
250. And I think it's interesting that even though we're not able to blow glass and do a big show. We're still doing something different on 250, which is cool.
It's super cool. We had multiple different plans we talked about, and then in the end we were like, everyone's out of town, we're coming back, we're just gonna do it. It's gonna be a Young Gun show for show 250, and that wasn't gonna be that out of the ordinary, but it is pretty crazy that
It's intentional.
it's intentional.
I cut the power to the furnaces 4 days ago.
Yeah.
As I wait for more questions to come in, I actually thought of one that I'd like to ask Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been here for about a year now.
Yeah, I got my 1 year chip.
You
Woo.
did. What are your takeaways from being here for a year? What is maybe the best part? What is maybe your most unexpected positive?
Man, I love like the instant gratification you get out of glass. I talked about it briefly earlier in the show. I used to be an engineer. Very familiar with the concept that you would start on something and you wouldn't even see it begin to maybe sort of kind of come to fruition for 8 months from then. And with glass, in 24 hours,
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing things come out of the oven that were made like the day before on a good production day. So that has been a whole change in mindset. Just being able to see what we make has been like such a nice little reward kick for my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And then working on trying to de-engineer my brain in some aspects and get more down with the artist way of thinking has been a complete mind change for me. Has freed up a lot of space in my brain, and I have noticed the nice little side of it all is that I've just been able to like bring more energy home and into my home life, and that has been a fantastic change for me. My animals are super thankful for it. My house is super thankful for it. Maybe even Kayla's super thankful for it. To be determined. But a year later, I am loving it. I am spoiled. I can't go back. Jake is gonna have to drag me out of this building.
Very cool. To follow that up, what are you looking forward to this coming next year? Like, what is your biggest thing you'd like to master?
Ooh.
Sorry to
So
put you on the
much
spot.
to master. There's so much to master.
Okay, what do you want to master next? What is your next main
I-
focus?
I really want to start getting my bearings in like the hollow work. And I think it's just thinking about the landscape of the Glass Academy. I think it's Matt's year to get his bearing in hollow work, so I think I'm gonna have to put that on the back burner a little bit. But I'm excited to learn with him and see like as he goes and figures things out, how maybe I can get ahead of the curve as I step into that realm. And then like the solid sculptural stuff. A lot of our classes are like very sculptural pieces and kind of like that's their foundation of them. And I love the puzzle of doing those and like, is there another type of sculptural piece that we can incorporate into a class? I'm stepping into a class figure-outer role right now, so to see where I can take that is going to be really interesting as well.
To follow that up, we had somebody ask, what exactly is hollow work? Can you give an example?
So that's like our large pumpkins, that is our mushrooms, that's our drinkware. Drinkware is
Blown glass.
like the stuff that you're actually blowing a bubble into. Yeah,
Right.
that's the better way to put it. Like pumpkin nets are more solid sculptural pieces, and I really like how those come together. They're super satisfying, but like there's a lot of challenge in the hollow work of the blown pieces, and that's like the end goal in my mind is I want to make an amazing Pilsner or mug or something like that. But
Well, it's just harder blowing glass, hollow glass.
it's so much harder.
You know, thinner the glass is, people don't often think that it's more valuable. They pick up something heavy and solid, and that's where we try and design products that hit both ends of the spectrum. Push ourselves, but also to give you guys what you want. And the thinner you can blow something, the less working time you have. So things are already happening really fast in a controlled manner.
Mm-hmm.
And then to blow something thin, you lose half the time to work on it. You blow a goblet, and it's, you know, you got no time to do anything. You got to do it right in the right moment. So that's definitely something to strive towards, and that's something that you'll continue to strive for your whole career. You know.
I definitely feel like people are a little bit spoiled getting to watch like you, Michelle, and Chris do drinkware typically, and then seeing like Matt and I assist you, because they see like very like extremely practiced moves. I like the camera doesn't capture how much your guys' hands are like surgeon hands.
Yeah.
And like we can make like a couple glasses in a live show, but if Matt and I were to try and like, take out a custom order, we'd spend the whole live show just trying to maybe get the custom order done.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have to showcase it a little bit more, Apprentice custom order night.
Uh-oh.
Put your requests in, folks.
Got a couple questions finally coming in. I can stop using my journalism degree here for a second.
That's
I just went in interview mode. I'm sorry.
Awesome.
So, Katrina says, will a glass butterfly ever be attempted?
I think didn't last spring show Joey try a glass butterfly?
I can't remember if it was at the Ren Fair or here. I think it was here.
I thought it was here, and I think we all went, yup.
Yeah, I mean, that goes right into the creature territory. To be honest, I mean, when we're making creatures and they're representative of something else, we don't want to be, I don't want to be banking off nature every single product we make. And so when we get into the creatures, we don't want to have a gallery full of creatures. That's why we want to do this yearly creature creation. And the sheep's going to be an amazing one, but potentially next year we could design a butterfly. I mean, we have 12 to 15 sheep out there already, and it's not figured out. Like, I'm not even proud of it. People want them, but it's like we're not ready to put that on the floor and sell it to you guys as a qualified finished product. So if we're going to design a butterfly, I don't really like doing things on a whim like that necessarily. We want to design it and do a nice one, and that could potentially be one in the next year. I don't know if we're going to do like a sweepstakes around it to see what it is, or if we just come up with something and have a great idea and then all of a sudden run with it. We'll see, but butterflies could be down the line for sure.
I think it's interesting for me because I get to see kind of both sides in a certain aspect of when you guys are developing a product, because like you said, you have 12 to 15 sheep out there, and we have people saying, oh, I really like that, I really want it. But at the same time, they don't understand that it's not a finished product, because it's not how you, the artist, or whoever the artist is, sees that finished product. Like I had somebody the other day comment, oh, I love this sheep, I really want to buy him, he's so derpy looking and cute.
Exactly.
And it's like, I know that like they love it for that, but that's not your intended goal.
And we will sell those. We want to get those in people's hands if you love them, but I need to reference those as we make more, and you need to see the growth and photograph that and document what we've done and put a couple in the safe to remember. I mean, the gnomes we have in the safe are hilarious. Like they're ridiculous, and you don't recognize that stuff. And Michelle's a great proponent of setting one aside. So is Chris's mom. Grandma always comes by and she's like, give me that. You're gonna want to see that later. And I'm like, no, sell it.
Get rid of it.
But now it's turned around and you're like, oh my god, look at that gnome.
It's so nice to see. But we want to get those in your hands. We'll get you the derpy ones, but we want to get it to a point where we're proud of it. We want glass blowers, old people, young people to come in, and we want to stand next to the piece and be like, that's my jam.
I have a comment I want to read, which I will make a comment about right after, and then if you want to build off of that, you can. So Mad Gilbert says, watching live from the UK, enjoy seeing the work you guys achieve. Would love to see something dedicated to military veterans. I know a couple of shows ago, well, not a couple by now, but we do charity shows once in a while, and I know that we did a charity that was dedicated towards helping people struggling through
suicide prevention.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
So I know that we have done stuff in the past, and I know that that's not out of the question for the future. I don't know if you have anything to add comments wise there, but
I do. I've got a list of charities as well as the artist collaborators that we want to organize and get to. It's just every time we build up into the holiday season, everything trickles and just starts getting lost. But we really, especially with this membership, are going to get to planning out the shows. One charity show a month is the idea. We had a good run of it there. We were doing it for a while. It's hard to market. It's hard to make sure you guys even see what's going on. The worst is when we're supporting a charity and you may or may not even know that we're supporting a charity and we're trying to talk about it. We don't have enough time to learn about the charity, to talk about it ourselves and feel like we're actually producing something or supporting something we believe in. So there's a lot of back end work and build up to get that kind of thing done. It's not just, I mean, we've done it, but it's not just throwing a name onto the show.
Yeah, you can't just do it. I mean, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, here, but like, we just don't want to do it to say we're doing it. Like,
Exactly.
we are intentional about picking the charities that we partner with. It's things that we stand for. It's things that fit our company goals. We're not going for the biggest charities around. We're trying to find some smaller dogs that need some help. But we need to put our best foot forward when we do that as well. So as things get busier, sometimes it's hard to keep up and give them the time and attention they deserve. But we definitely want to do it.
And I think
Well put.
to build off of what you're saying, Oliver, we don't want to do things just to do it. I mean, that comes with
No.
anything. That's with you making your sheep. That's with us picking a charity. One of my favorite books I've read, as far as like professionally, is a book called Start With Why. And it talks about how if you don't start with why you're doing something, if you just do it to do it, and there's no purpose behind it, it's going to unravel and it's going to fall apart. Whereas if you start with why are we doing this? Why are we putting this together? Why are we creating this? Then it's going to have a lot more intention to it, and it's going to be a lot stronger and a lot more long lasting.
100%. 100%. I've got that in my notes in multiple spots. You know, we put out brand statements. I'm trying to get them on the website. It's 100% true, and I love talking about. That's part of why the live shows are so cool. If we can have conversations like this, we try and do it while we're blowing glass, but show you guys what we're about and the community we want.
I mean, this has been a nice change of pace. I feel like we're focused on the glass and having conversation on the side, but now just to focus and actually answer people's questions is cool.
Yeah.
We should try and do this more
Speaking of
often.
which, we have more questions.
Hit us.
So,
hit it
I mean,
with
now
us.
that we have more questions going in, I want to recoup back to where I was mentioning over there. This is something we may do monthly. If it may be monthly, it's not figured out yet, but depending on your guys' appreciation and how many questions you have and your interest in what we're doing behind the scenes, this is going to be a part of the membership program for sure. I know Michelle has it placed in there. I don't know exactly where it is, so I don't want to guarantee anything, but if you're into this kind of thing, look forward to that, and we'll try and put this on a calendar, put this on a schedule, so that we can keep you guys up to date with what's going on behind the scenes.
Roniza asks, how often do you guys blow glass, and if it's daily, about how many hours a day? Probably just depends on the day, right?
I mean, on average, what? 7 days a week, 8 hours a day?
Yeah, take an hour lunch in the middle, but there's no point in turning on the hole if you're going to work 4 hours, and that was the deciding factor tonight. Even with the glass being almost hot enough, with it being seedy, we could have done it, but for me to turn on a hole and have it burn for 45 minutes, turn on an annealing oven takes 45 minutes, that's just as much cost as is the natural gas, the electricity, especially in this cold weather too. It's going to be burned even hotter, we're working even harder. To do that for a 2-hour show, to make 4 pieces, it doesn't make sense. It's not financially correct, and as much as we'd love to get that out for the stream, we got to think about ourselves. So I would say, yeah, I mean, since we've taken this break, it's definitely changed in this past year. When we've been rehauling the studio, we took 3 months off of blowing glass, literally, except for teaching classes. Ideally, we work an 8-hour shift. And even more ideal is if Oliver and I start the day, or Oliver and Matt start the day, or whatever it is, and the third person comes in and finishes the day teaching classes in the evening. That's a perfect day. That's how the business runs, and that's the ideal spot. Gallery staff comes in later in the day.
Julie asks, do you need to take continuing education classes for different techniques and things like that?
That's a great question, and up until this point, I've taken no formal education on glass blowing. I went to Alfred for a year and left because it didn't make sense for me. Alfred was a college in New York, but you know, at this point, for me personally, and I can let Oliver speak to this. I mean, he's still getting into his glass career, and we're going to see where that goes, and same with Matt. But I'm feeling like now I do need to. You know, it's like I'm at a point where I've done everything we've done in the business, made every product, and you know, made some new color patterns and some new designs, but I've tested as much as I've been taught by both of my parents, and I've found that when we're really in the busy season and I've got too much overload on what I want to get done in the business, I can't quite think creatively, and I'm not as creative as I've been in the past when I was in college and when I was in high school and whatnot. So I am taking a course coming up this summer in Pittsburgh. It's going to be a week-long course on Marini and on cane pulling and color pattern and whatnot, and I think that's really gonna, get me going for a little bit more there. Anytime I ever go into any other educational area or artistic area, if I go to a museum, I get inspired, and that's almost like taking a course for my own brain. So I think it's important to keep doing that probably forever. I mean, Chris does it too. Michelle's taken business courses continually, and that's why she's a champion.
Absolutely. I'm learning a lot here. This is my primary education source is what I'm learning here at the Glass Academy. And you guys have gotten to, for those of you who've been watching the live show every week, like you guys have gotten to see me figure things out in real time. Like I think back to the first giveaway mushroom you asked me to do.
Oh yeah.
Versus like the stuff we're doing now and the stuff I'm able to make. So,
Yeah.
But I am a sponge on YouTube, man. I'm a sponge on YouTube, looking up every little thing I can. Matt sent me a literature packet of like college thesis level history of glass. It's like 116 pages, and he was just like, I found this, read it. And I'm slowly going through that as I drink my morning coffee, so like just trying to absorb as much information as possible. But I mean, this is stuff that like you and Chris and Michelle know a lot, like the history of glass, and you're talking about your friend who knows like the colonial stuff really, really well. It's like not as well documented as I think it should be. Like there's a lot of just through the grapevine information.
Books passed around.
Yeah, just random handwritten books from people that only 3 copies exist, and maybe one time it got photocopied.
Yeah.
But I watch YouTube videos of people like doing live demos and stuff like that. And every now and then they'll just have like a 10-minute tangent where they talk about a history of glass that I've never heard before, and it's buried in some 4-hour-long video. Like it's just so interesting, like where I get the information from and what I cue into.
Such a small culture, and it's been in America. It's been factories up until 50 years ago, and everything else is in other countries. All the old histories in other countries. So it's like it makes sense that we in America don't have that much. Luckily, the internet's global, and there's other things we can find. But that's not necessarily my major interest either. It does pique my interest when I'm talking to somebody, but the cool thing is that both Matt and Oliver have a serious interest in the material. So however they grow in the business here, they're going to learn everything we have to offer as I have through my parents, but they're also going to pick and choose their own stuff from the outside world, and that collective pot of action is going to be really cool. We're going to be making some really sweet things.
One thing I like to see during the live shows, or even just when I'm watching you guys kind of work on stuff outside of the live shows, is kind of seeing you guys learn off of each other, or maybe you guys are working on something and Chris says, well, why don't you try it this way, or why don't you do it this way, or this is what I found works best, or seeing you guys kind of just bounce things off of each other, because that in itself is learning. I train for my full-time job, and seeing how everybody learns differently, but seeing how the most effective way is kind of learning in the moment when you're hands-on with things, and just watching you guys do that off of each other is super cool for me.
Totally, and it's not that easy if your communication skills are bad, I mean, we've got to, that comes back to like hiring and building a team. It's like we've all got a good way of communicating with each other, and that builds growth. Builds growth? Is that two of the same things?
I think it builds growth.
It builds growth.
I think it's a double play.
I think that's fair. I think you can say that.
Builds growth.
Builds growth.
Perfect.
I have a shout out here to Robin.
Good.
I know that we've had a couple other people involved in packing as well, but Robin is our shipping queen as always. But Sarah says the packaging of ordered pieces from Glass Academy is always an art in itself. Always impressed with that alone.
Damn straight.
Robin the champion.
Robin is a champion, the shipping queen, and she was out there in the -1 degree weather today shipping packages, folks. Anyone who took a class, we sent out some special gifts. It's just, she's a champion. We stayed up front in the office. She came in and just was like, "What's up, losers?" No, she wasn't. But she's really the bomb diggity, and just another piece in this puzzle that is the Glass Academy that is just super important and amazing.
We had a question here. Are you planning more mobile demos besides Renaissance Festival or Arts Beats and Eats?
No, I'm not. I know
we did the Pumpkin Fest out in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, we need to get paid. We need to
Yeah.
get paid to do that. It's like, it is such a haul. And this year was a great year of organization. I made some serious spreadsheets. Oliver chipped in on those spreadsheets. Oliver took it all out to the Arts, Beats, and Eats with Chris and documented everything that went down.
I mean, we know how to set it up. We know how to transport it. But I think what people maybe don't realize is that if you have an event on Saturday, we need to set up on Friday morning, have gas and electricity running that entire time, and then we can't tear it down until Sunday. And we don't get to just cut the gas and electricity off. We have to like slowly ramp it down. So a 1-day event costs us 3 days. So it sometimes doesn't make sense.
And the utilities and driving, I mean, just the material itself, everything about it. It's a very expensive thing here at home base, and to get it on the road, it's like we get a lot of people asking for it. Once we get the bar and the beverage and the private event space figured out, and we understand kind of the pricing of that, how that works, and we'll be able to make a pricing sheet as well on the website of, you know, you want to book us to come out and do a special event, here's what it looks like. But I mean, we love doing it. We love doing that in front of people. It's such a good time, but it's hard to have a really good time when you feel like you're losing money at the same time.
Chris and I were sweating our butts off.
That
I
was
mean,
one
not even
hell
just
of a
Chris
hot
and I.
weekend.
Everyone was. Michelle and the whole gallery crew out there. It was a hot time at Arts, Beats, and Eats. We had a great time doing it.
Yeah.
To
Couple
bounce.
more questions? How are we doing on time?
We're at 7:30. I'm impressed we've gone this long, to be honest.
Me too.
I'm kind of out of questions. If you guys have any last minute questions, I would say this is your kind of time to ask those last minute questions.
Perfect.
To bounce off of the shipping back to it real quick, I want to read this off because I think it's pretty cool. It's from Pammy. Pammy, for those of you who don't know, lives in Australia. She says she's still amazed that all of her pieces have arrived totally intact like a baby in a cradle all the way to Australia. Speaks volumes of just how good the packing is.
Incredible.
And I think that's important to read because, it's glass. We're shipping glass, which I know is kind of terrifying in its own.
Yeah.
But the fact that pieces are making it all the way to Pammy in Australia just speaks volumes of how much care we put into packing each and every piece.
Absolutely.
We also just bought a shredder too, which is super cool. It's a really high-end shredder. They were way pricier than I ever would have imagined, but it's like a serious shredder for taking down. We can almost get most cardboard in there, but we've got a lot of paper in the office here. We got a lot of paper out in the shipping area, even in the glass shop, writing up custom orders and whatnot. So we're working with our design lady to make a sticker that we put on the box that says, this is recycled material, but we got the perfect little cross-cut shreds that aren't leaving dust anywhere that we're going to start packing for shipping, all our own recycled material, which is going to be
recycled
super
material.
Very,
Yeah.
very
Love
cool.
that.
I don't see any other questions coming in. I'm going to give it another 30 seconds, but if you guys have any final comments here to kind of start wrapping some things up.
My final wrap-up is, and we'll finish, I'll take the camera over there and show off those mystery items again, but again, it's a really cool opportunity to get some things that may not have hit the floor, kind of like the sheep, we're designing, they may be a little bit different, they may, sometimes it's hard to talk about quality, but like when we are on the website and we're shipping to people that have never bought from us before, they expect exactly what they see in the picture. Whether it's better or worse doesn't make a difference. It could be bigger, it could be smaller, it could be wider, it could be more electric with color, duller in color, it doesn't matter. But when you guys have seen our shows and seen the pieces we've made and you fall in love with something that's completely unique, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about here. They're one-of-a-kind pieces. They're not all, it's not seconds, it's not what they're called. It's unique pieces that they may have hit the gallery before. You may have even seen them on the live show, I'm not sure. But we've got a nice spread. I've already set aside a bunch of them for each category of pricing. And I did put multiple in different ones. And you're going to get a deal on each one that you get. It's going to be a great value for what you're looking for. So to start the new year, check that out. It's live on the website, glassacademy.com.
Yeah, I mean, take a risk. Start the new year on something you maybe not have tried before.
Yeah. Other than that, the membership we'll keep talking about. We're going to keep you updated on it. The bar's coming up. We'll keep you updated on it. We've got great plans for this year. The team's running strong, and
We're back from vacay. We got
we're
energy.
rested. I literally was just like, I can't not work for another month. Like after taking a week off and just traveling around, hanging out with friends, it's go time. Let's get to
Absolutely.
it.
Well, I think, let us know if you want the Glass Academy podcast.
Absolutely. We love
I
talking.
think we need to know if that's what you guys want. I've seen a lot of people saying they're liking this so far, but let us know.
There you go, folks. Check that mirror out. Pieces.
So
Someone's
those
gonna get that mini bubble tree.
those are still live on the website under where you'd normally find our table, as always, under the As Seen on the Gathering Point area.
All right. Over and out.
Hasta luego.
See you next week.
All right.
Rolling credits. I'm impressed that was good. Yeah, I wanted to turn on some votes, sorry. I used to have
That's an hour and
to.
a half. I had like 20 minutes already before. Now maybe like
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Used to what?
I used to have to run a podcast in college, and then I used to have radio hours. And then just,
cool.
just interviewing people, so.